Manchester United moved to the next round of the FA Cup after scraping past Leicester City. And it was an interesting game because have you ever win a game but you get more criticism rather than praise? It seems like it is the story that Manchester United hold this season. And it's crazy because so many people had a lot of things to say. A lot of people are actually talking about how, remember, of course, that second goal was an offside, but because there's no VAR, it stands from Harry Maguire. And it's a good moment for him scoring against this former team, having an amazing thing. It's amazing. But let's talk more about why they're getting criticism for their game rather than praise. Like the video, subscribe to the Football Connect, and don't forget to share if you're enjoying this. Let me know where you're watching us from because I'm really curious to find out the zones of countries that I watch the Football Connect, especially on YouTube, because you guys have been really, really active this year. So let's talk about this. So Manchester United were hosting Leicester City, the FA Cup round of fourth round of FA Cup, and in round four, it means that if they go to the next round and stuff like that. It was just Leicester. It should be easy to go through. They're below the table, but if you look at where United are and Leicester, they're not really far apart. Which is crazy. I'm not going to get into that one, but I'm here to talk more about what this symbolizes. So people have been talking about this for some time, and I always ignore some stuff until maybe I absolutely have to talk about it. And I think I've come to that point where I need to talk about this. We need to talk about the Ogate problem. I feel like, yeah, it is an Ogate problem. Today, there was an interesting change. Before we go to the Ogate problem, like I said, I will talk about that one. There was an interesting change because the manager decided to play Rasmus Højlund and made Kobe Mino play as one of the 10s, as well as Amad Diallo playing that position. And of course, the new signing, Patson Dogu or something like that. Like I said, Ogate. Then we also have the Bruno Fernandes, the Dalot, and the Mazraoui playing as part of the back three alongside Lenny Yoro and Harry Maguire. An interesting setup. And the way the game went on, like, and I think that's really important to talk about. It went on like Leicester City are not a team that is really comfortable with the ball on their feet. What they rely on is to actually allow the other team to have the ball and they take advantages, hitting them on the counter attack and try to take advantage of the spaces created. Of course, there will be more people talking about the mistake that Onana made in the goal, or maybe him not being alertness or what, but it is more about what Leicester were using to play around this. But this is the problem that we find ourselves in, especially with Ruben Amorim's new tactics and everything that has changed with United. We find ourselves with a problem where whenever United have the ball, they struggle to play the game. Whenever they don't have the ball, they are the best team to play against because they will put the game on you. That's what I said, the Ogata problem. And now that's when it comes, why am I explaining this and why it's important. Ogata is one of the best destroyers in football. He is very good at breaking up the passes, breaking up the lanes of all people building something. He's one of the best destroyers in the Premier League. Whenever he doesn't have the ball, he fights with everything he has to get the ball. And we have seen it countless times. He has been doing this for such a long time. Remember the game against Liverpool? He gave hell to the likes of Gravenberch and all the players who were playing there, as well as when he was playing against Arsenal. He made sure that he was a means to that midfield. They struggled to control the ball, or their, whatever they were building up, their passing creation, their passing lanes, building up to go forward. They were being destroyed by him because he's so good at that. But here comes the Ogata problem. Whenever they're playing a team that doesn't really have to control the game, but wants to win, they don't rely on holding the ball, i.e. Leicester today. Ogata is not a really good passer of the ball. He's not really a good playmaker of the ball. He's not actually the controller. Because now these days, when you're a DM, you need to be more like a Busquets, Sergio Busquets, somebody who can control the situation, can destroy, also can control. You don't even have to destroy that much. You just have to have control, do well in ball carrying, holding on the ball properly, releasing it on the right time and stuff like that. Something that Ogate knows nothing about in the field of the game. What he knows to do is to fight to get the ball, pass to the guy next to him, and that's it. But the problem with that, United needs to make sure that all the parties in the games are active. If Ogade is winning the ball, he has to see it through to where the ball goes. It's no longer about just getting the ball and passing, especially when they play with the teams that don't want to hold the ball. Hence why the problem is coming from. Because if he destroys, he gets the ball. If he's not able to do that, it creates problems because the teams are easily taking advantage and hitting on the counter and actually scoring goals. Hence why they lost against Crystal Palace. Go watch that game. They died in the midfield. The same thing happened again. Of course, I see Ruben Amorim trying to use Bruno Fernandes as a guy who can cover for that. He is more now trying to become the controller for United whenever the destroyer has done his job. But sometimes the teams have learned to maybe double mark him, to overwhelm him, to make it difficult for Bruno to actually succeed in his game. What is our partner next to him doing? Because this is a field of play. You don't need people just to sit down there. You need people to be active and actually been doing something. So unless and until something changes for United, unless there's something that is helping to make this guy good, they are really going to have a problem against the small teams, especially that now there's no much, belief in their front man, the gunman, the guy who's supposed to be finishing the chances that are created. By the way, Kobe Mino on the 10, I think that's the best decision he has ever made. Kobe Mino on the 10, he offers so much, but of course, whenever the ball is not actually moving the way they want to, whenever they're not controlling the ball properly, it is a problem to see where they go forward. But I don't know. I have to wait and see what happens. But the criticism is always going to be building up because today, let us all be honest, that game was shamble. It was making people feel more sleepy than actually doing something on the game. We were watching the Liverpool game. My time zone is a bit later than UK. So, of course, it was already time for me to be asleep. I was falling asleep, but yet I have to come back here and try to speak about what I'm seeing on the Connect, and hence why I'm here. But also, we need to also give some amazing credit to players like Joshua Zirkzee. I was happy that he did not play him as the number 9, but played him as one of the 10 after the substitution that they did. I felt like he thrives better there because he's a guy who works so hard to win the ball and help the team to carry the ball going forward. Even though Rasmus Højlund is not going to score the chances, at least there is that player that they can rely upon to create something. And I just cannot wait to see what happens with United. But there's going to be more criticism going forward. But I don't know. They won the game by 2-1. Of course, like I said, it was an offside, in a clear offside. Even though, let me just talk about the linesman. The linesman actually saw a United player taking the ball outside with his legs, and he gave the throwing in against United until the referee changes it. So I could bet anything that I had that the same guy was never gonna raise that flag for offside because he had already done it. So there's nothing more I can say, people, but I want to hear your thoughts in the comment section. What did you think of United versus Leicester City? Was it exciting? On the Leicester side of point of view, they tried to do their best. I just feel like with this team, they need more goal scorers because they do get into good position, but whenever you're not really a team that is really good, you need people who finish the little chances you create, and they just did not do that, hence why they are not really where they should be. So let's see what happens going forward. Don't forget to click that like button. Don't forget to subscribe to the Connect. I'll see you on another one. We're out. Peace. Subscribe. Connect.